Hello everyone, this is Rawan.
And this is Tommy.
We are current students at Marquette University and we will talk about a cyber attack happened to the virtual care provider incorporation. So this cyber attack happened on November 17th, 2019 at 1:30 a.m. The company is located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And the type of the cyber attack is a ransomware called Triuc. If you are asking about the ransomware, it's a type of malware from cryptovirology that threatens to publish the victim's data or perpetually block access to it unless a ransom is paid. Ransomware attacks are typically carried out using a Trojan that is used as a legitimate file that the user is tricked into downloading or opening when it arrives as an email attachment. So, these are some information about VCPI. They have around 18,000 users, 300 applications, and 2,400 locations. They provide IT consulting, internet access, data storage, and security services to nursing homes and acute care facilities that is spread out in the United States.
Okay, so what happened in this attack? The attackers were able to through phishing, which is like using a creative way to use an email, and one of the users in the company of VCPI ended up opening it, tricked, which unleashed like a trick bot to steal passwords, and through like endpoints the company used to log in, and then it was able to get like 300 websites and services from them. And through this trick bot, it was able to encrypt a lot of the company's data. And at this point, once they were at this point, they demanded $14 million, but VCPI ended not. They declined to pay it, which is probably like a good thing because we don't want. It's probably good not to pay the attackers. Otherwise, it's more incentive for like more attackers wanting to. And this all ended up happening over like 14 months. And some of the damages were just through emails of both like customer and like employees, and like being able to like access their like client billing, phone systems, and a lot of other things. Even like they weren't able to. The company wasn't even going to pay like their employees, so they had like a lot of issues at this time. So yeah, so this is like basically kind of like a basic model of how the attackers attacked the company VCPI. VCPI. They used the technique of phishing, where they gave a malicious email for a user to click on, and they're kind of like nowadays, each like attackers are getting more creative. So like as a company, you kind of want to kind of warn your employees. But what ended up happening was they clicked on that, which gave permission for the tick bot or the trick bot to get on the um, like the systems company's like server and stuff. And then at this point, you can kind of see on the next step is that the ransomware starts encrypting stuff and brings it back to the client. And at this point, they can encrypt anything they want as long as the system allows it. And then they can encrypt a key. The victim must pay whatever the ransom of of the time to receive that decryption key. So basically, yeah, once a ransomware has something to hold as hostage, it will demand a ransom so that you can recover your own data. So basically, just be sure to assess an attachment looks genuine or not for any user or employee that's working for you. Otherwise, this is kind of like the basic model where they're going to just trick your employees into opening like a phishing email and then encrypt and then go through the system, make a ransom to get your data back. And that's kind of like basically it. Okay, so for the consequences, Because like the attack kind of cut off many of the elder care facilities for the patient records, emails, and telephone services for days. So employees weren't really able to like get paid, which was like really hard for the company and employees to kind of work together. The facilities where the nurses can't get the drugs updated couldn't put any orders, so the drugs couldn't arrive on time. So yeah, there was a lot of things happening.
So for the recovery, this is what they did, but I believe that they should have done more. They must have a strong recovery plan. They must identify their processes and procedures and also maintain discipline to ensure timely restoration and prevent issues from happening again. For example, preventing phishing emails from affecting employees or the system. So this attack could been prevented by educating and training employees, which is the very important rule in avoiding future phishing emails. Also, I know that some companies like to test their employees if they can recognize a fake email from a real email. So this is to ensure that the employees are trained and knowledge and recognize any threats.
So yeah, I guess the moral of the story for this is that companies that experience a ransomware attack, or for that matter, any type of equally invasive malware infestation, should assume that all credentials stored anywhere on the local network are comprised and just need to be changed.